Yo, thanks for tuning in to the Maniacal Pod Talk. I'm your host, Brian, Murph in the Streets, and it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope pod to listen to. Mike, can you remind the people who got the dopest intro in the streets, please, my brother? All right, what's going on, y'all? Appreciate y'all for tapping in once again. I've been on a little hiatus, you know what I'm saying? But we back in the building doing what we do best. So I figured I would address the elephant in the room a little bit. It's been 2 months, and some of y'all might have been tempted to think that Murph fell off. But newsflash, Murph don't fall off. Murph just get busy, and so this is just one of them times. I got busy, thank God for people like my brother Mike, who's always in my ear, like, hey, it's been a month. I said, man, I know. He said, hey, man, we going on 2 months. And I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and get back into this thing because I enjoy doing this, and I was able to be a guest host on Take Control podcast recently. I did that, I think about 2 weeks ago now, and it was like, yeah, it's time for you to get back to doing what you like to do, which is coming, sharing my mind, speaking to y'all, get back into the swing of things. And so I've been thinking about something that I feel like we all can relate to when it comes to when we do find ourselves taking a break from what we're working on and maybe venturing off into other things. And so I kind of want to explore what that looks like for me. Maybe some of y'all can relate, but let's get into it. I'm the type of person that loves to be busy, and I like to have my hands in many different projects, many different ideas. I'm happy when I'm busy, when I got a lot of stuff going on. It can be stressful sometimes, but I that's just me. That's what I enjoy. I'm also constantly told you just need to focus on one thing. You just need to find that thing that you like to do and execute that and finish that. Then you move on to the next thing. But I feel like those type of people, they're trying to give me good advice and they mean well, but at the same time, I just feel like there's a disconnect because they don't always understand how my brain works and like where my happy space is. But I respect when people give me that advice. I just have to respectfully disagree at the same time. Um, but don't get me wrong. I know there are those people out there that need to have that type of advice because it's good advice. There are people that need to zero in on one thing and focus on that one thing before they move on to the next thing. But some of us, do a little bit of everything that's possible in their minds. And for me, let me think. So I'll give you a good example of how my brain works when it comes to like the ideas and the goals and pursuits that I have, right? So it reminds me of the movie Avatar. So a lot of people that know about the movie Avatar, they also know that that movie was conceptualized way before it was actually put into production to become a movie. And like one of the main reasons was because even though they had the concept, they had the probably the script and all the things that was necessary or required for them to do a movie, the technology did not yet exist at the time that they came up with the idea. And so I'm pretty sure that the people who created it had to put it on the shelf for a little while until that technology came to be. And obviously when the technology got there, the movie was here. And so that's kind of how my brain works when it comes to things that I'm working on. I have, let's say, 5 different things. I'll start on one thing today. I might work on that one thing. It might be a month. And then at some point, it's like, okay, well, this thing, I've pushed this one thing as far as I possibly could right now. let me let that breathe. I'm gonna put it on the shelf for now. Like we got this imaginary shelf. People that think like me that like to work, we got this imaginary shelf that we put all these ideas on. And so we get to one stage with that first one. Then the second one is like, okay, well, let me work on this one. Let me push this as far as I can push it this time. And then you get to the point, it's like, all right, well, I need X, Y, and Z to happen for this. So now let me put that one on the shelf. And then you just get on to the third, fourth, and fifth thing. And then every now and then you like, you know what? That first thing I was doing, I can do something else with that right now. So then I go find myself going back to that shelf. I pick up that first thing, get to working on that, push that as far as I can do. Is that crazy for some people? It probably is, but for me, I love it. And and that's just who I am. And so, mom, she always tell me, you just got to focus. My dad, especially. My dad don't never understand half the stuff I be trying to do. But I'll be like, look, I hear you. I just got to do it my way. I got to do it my way. And like success to me looks different than it does to other people also. And so the success for one idea, to me, it might look like something that's half finished to you. But again, I'm doing this for me and the vision that I have. And so when I'm okay with, completing the task for one idea, I might be like, yo, I'm good with that. I'm gonna let that go by the wayside. But somebody else might view that as an incomplete project. And really, what can I say about that? I'm gonna just say it don't matter. That's the best way I can say it. You see a project that somebody did not complete to your standard, that's fine. So really the advice there is work on your ideas as much as you feel like they need to be worked on. And once you get to a point to where you feel like an idea is complete, if you're done with it, be done with it. That's fine. But if you got, you want to put it on the shelf until 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, be fine with doing that too. Because at the end of the day, it's your vision. My mom always told me nobody can see the dream but the dreamer. So never forget that. You working on something, two, three, four, five things, it don't matter. Nobody can see the vision but you. If you complete the vision, how you complete it, don't worry about nobody else's input on it. So after that rant, I decided to go into a deep dive of these different thought patterns, because some people might be tempted to think like this person is scatterbrained, this person is incompetent, this person can't just stick to one thing. And so for guys and gals like me, let's do this deep dive into kind of what this mindset could be considered, right? So I'm gonna go down this list. I got a list of four things. The first one they call it the divergent thinker, right? This is someone who generates many different ideas or solutions to a problem. Okay. And so it's often used in brainstorming and innovation. Divergent thinkers can approach challenges from multiple angles and don't get stuck on the linear path, which is cool. An example it gives me, it says instead of solving a problem with one standard method, a divergent thinker comes up with five unique approaches, each within the creative flair. So, a divergent thinker, somebody who's really good at brainstorming, and you might come up with a bunch of different ways to solve one or two problems. You might find yourself in that category. If you do, great. Now you know that you're a divergent thinker. So, second, Mike, can you grab that bottle of water back there for me? It's back there. Brother, it's been 2 months. Brother's throat get dry after talking for 10 minutes. Thank you, my brother. Let me get a sip, because, sheesh, I'm out of shape. Let me get one more now. All right, bet. Y'all know I keep all bloopers. We don't do no cuts, no editing, none of that. Mike got me covered. All right, so here we go. The number two. This one talks about idea driven. And so that definition is motivated or fueled by the constant flow of ideas. I can relate to that, especially because I'm always motivated and fueled by a constant flow of ideas. They just keep coming and coming and coming. Sometimes you be up late, can't stop thinking about stuff. So it says these individuals are often seen as visionary or entrepreneurial. Their thinking is fast paced and idea rich. Let's see. An example here is an idea driven person might wake up with a new business plan, a song concept, and a video series idea all before breakfast. So, if you find yourself all before breakfast coming up with all of these business ideas, like you're an idea driven person. I've been in that boat plenty of times. Like I said, you can't sleep. You wake up, you still thinking about whatever that idea is, and all before breakfast. The day ain't even started yet. You might not have brushed your teeth, put no clothes on, washed your face, none of that stuff. So it's okay. You're just what we call it, an idea driven person. And it's all right to be that way. All right. So number three, we got the visionary. And this one is someone who sees beyond the present into the future possibilities, often focus on big picture innovation. I can relate to that one too. The context on that one is visionaries are often behind movements, trends, or big creative shifts. Their minds are full of ideas, but with a long term or transformative success or focus. So, visionaries, y'all thinking about the big picture. That's cool too. Another example that it gives me here. They may think of a whole creative ecosystem, a brand, content, merch, a community, even before creating the first piece. So, listen, if you think anything like me, I've been called a visionary, but I've never like really called myself one. But I think I'm gonna start because it's kind of cool. It sound cool, but like if you are somebody who thinks of a whole creative ecosystem before the first piece, you can be considered a visionary. Cause I've seen the end result of some stuff I ain't even started yet. And it's just, it's thinking big. It's not being afraid to dream. It's also seeing what's possible for you. And so be okay and tap into your inner visionary. And it's okay to see the end result before you create the first piece. Even if you ain't got it to a point, you put it on the shelf. That's cool. That's a visionary. All right. Number four, we got the creative multitasker. This definition: a person who juggles multiple creative projects or ideas at once, often successfully. We like being busy. We like being busy around here. Rather than being scattered, this person channels their attention into various outlets, writing, music, designs, etc., and keeps the energy flowing across all of those platforms. That's kind of really what we get into. Like you keep the flow going over all of your projects at one time. But like I said, it's okay to move it how you need to move it, how you see fit. It's okay to put it down. It's okay to pick something else up. It's okay to circle back around, spin the block, if you will, on the old projects that you're working. The example that I have here, it says a DJ who also is curating events, producing original tracks, filming content, and building a community online. Like that's somebody who is a creative multitasker. And a lot of us find ourselves doing things, on our own, and you can fall into that category when, like it gave the example, the DJ, if you're doing the DJ and you're making the original content, you're setting up the video, like you're creative multitasking. So, for me, the reality is I see myself in all four of those strategic mindsets. And it's okay to see yourself in more than one set, right? And so, no matter which one of those you find yourself identifying as, the thing that I would like to point out is that look at that list, listen to it again, find yourself in there, right? Once you find yourself in there, have a real conversation with yourself and like, listen, it's not that I can't complete things, it's just I'm circling back around here. Essentially, what I'm saying is find your peace within your own creative imagination, within the way that you decide to work. Find your peace. We do want to get things done, but find your peace and just run with that because people are going to have all kind of things to say about what you got going on. And like I said, none of that stuff is usually disrespectful. it usually comes from a really good place. It comes from somebody really caring about you and knowing your abilities, and they want to see you succeed. Like we understand all of that too, but it's just find your peace, find your lane, stay in that lane, no matter what you got going on, right? Um, so that is that. I look at myself. I've been gone. I'm gonna talk about one of the projects that my crew, my team, we've been working on as I wrap up here in a little bit. But it thinking about the creative space that you can find yourself in, thinking about whether you are a creative multitasker, a visionary, idea driven, or a divergent thinker. It made me think about this question that I've had this conversation with a couple of people. Um, when we think about it like this. So I'm gonna just ask the question. I'll be curious to know what you think about this too, Mike. So opposites attract, or find somebody just like you. Opposites attract, or find somebody just like you. I feel like there's a wide range of opinions that could probably come around and answer this question, but I'm gonna answer it from what I think in my own personal experience, because we know people love saying opposites attract, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know, but it is a real question to think about, and especially as I think about these four people. If you're a visionary, you want somebody that's opposite as you, or you want somebody that's like you. And so for me, after experiencing what I would call both sides of the spectrum, I'm gonna say hands down, somebody just like me, 10 out of 10 would recommend. That's what I'm gonna say. 10 out of 10 would recommend somebody that's just like me. Because, when you find yourself on let's say you're a visionary, you are, let me throw these words because I want y'all to look these up. You're a creative multitasker, idea driven, and a divergent thinker, right? You find yourself with someone who's opposites attract, right? Yo, that's gonna be the person low key that's gonna tell you you incompetent. That's gonna be the person that tell you, oh, you can't never complete nothing. Low key, that's just that person is not gonna understand you. The person that's opposite of these four mindsets that we went over, they're gonna be the person that I'm gonna just say don't believe in you. They don't believe in the vision that you have. They don't understand this shelf, this imaginary shelf that we just keep putting stuff on and taking stuff off. And it's just the reality. The person that is, I'm not talking about everybody. Talking about my experience, this Murph experience, Brian, okay? And so when I found myself around somebody in the space of somebody who thought different than me, the work that I was putting in to be creative and be this visionary, it was never really respected. And I really feel like it wasn't respected because the person wasn't relatable. The person didn't understand the way that my mind worked. When I'm reaching on the shelf, they looking at me, what's this shelf you got up here? It's dusty. So what? This shelf is dusty. I'm gonna dust it off when I feel like it. You know what I mean? But like as I go and put things on the shelf, take things off the shelf, circle back around to that first thing, skip from that first thing to the fourth thing because now it's time to work on that. I don't really need nobody looking at me like I'm just got this, scatterbrain person, this mentality. Like I need somebody that's like, yo, it is time to pick that up. But did you think about the third thing? What about the fourth thing? And make sure you don't forget about the second, because I still know you could do that. Like, look, it creates a completely different environment when you got somebody 10 out of 10, just like me, would recommend. So, as y'all listen to this show, and when I get to that question, I want to know what y'all think about that. That's going to be the question of the week until I make another show. Like, I just want everybody to, yo, opposites attract, or somebody just like you. Like I said, Murph, 10 out of 10, just like me, would recommend for a number of different reasons. But, I'm going to let that go for now. Um, Let me see what else I got on here. Um, Okay, I did. I elaborated on that. I'm looking at my notes to say elaborate. so, so I did that. So what I'm gonna do? This is gonna be a real short show, man. And so just to get me back into the flow of things, y'all see, I need a water and everything. I ain't never seen me take a sip, but I had to take a sip today. But so in the vein of what we talked about during this episode, I do want to let you guys know like what's been going on the last 2 months, right? Like I got a whole team of people. It was a I can't remember what episode. This gonna be episode 10 or 11, Mike. That's crazy. Low key, even with 2 months off, like episode 10 or 11 is just kind of that's a lot. It's a lot of me sitting here talking to y'all, bringing a couple guests in. That's a lot. But anyway, so I don't lost my train of thought, but it's all good. So what I'm gonna talk about right now is over the last 2 months, what we've been. Oh, that's I got my train of thought back. So what I was going to say is on a previous episode, I talked about always wanting to have like a team and seeing other people have teams and they're building businesses and doing things together. Like breaking news. Murph has found a team of people that he loves to work with. So shout out to my brother Mike. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Trav. Like we've been building something that's just been so fun to us, regardless of what anybody else thinks. That we've been getting positive feedback, and what that thing is the break room. If you haven't seen the break room, man, Mike, you good? You good? He threw the logo on there. Wasn't even expecting it, but hey, that's the break room, man. If y'all have not seen any of the content that any of the four people that I just mentioned have mentioned or posted or said something about the break room, if you want to check it out on Instagram, it is at thebreakroom.oh. That's what it is on Instagram. If you want to check out the website is just breakroomoh.com. And like we really been grinding. We've had DJs come into the studio. They're giving us their sets. And really, what the break room is about to us is creating that safe space for these artists, which is the DJs, for them to be able to come in and just get a set off without, the expectations, without the barriers, without, the ropes, the red tape around them. Like, look, y'all are creative people. Come through the studio. We're going to get you set off. We're going to post it on Instagram. We're going to push you. We're going to motivate you. We just want to help them get better. And like really what we're figuring out now is how to monetize this thing. We had an event that we were a part of this past Friday. We were able to get the content that we need to actually put a commercial together. So y'all will be seeing us post a commercial here soon. And it's just fun. It's just fun. A lot has happened in 2 months. Really, I want to say the idea really sparked from a trip to Virginia in February, and so we just been doing it. And I want to say on Instagram over the last 90 days, we got I would say close to 25,000 views on that Instagram page, and that's huge, man. And so that's what I've been doing. So the maniacal pod talk is still here. I ain't went nowhere. It was just on the shelf for 2 months, 60 days. And that's all right, because you know what I did? Mike hit me up, my accountability brothers. Hey, time to go. And I said, all right, when we pick that back up, now we here. And we going to keep that going. But, like I said, check out the break room. When y'all see that coming through, definitely get that page a follow because really it's helping out the DJs and like we gonna need people that want to come through and listen to the sets and be on video. I know y'all got some fits y'all want to get off. I know y'all got some shoes y'all want to get off, some tops, blouses y'all want to get off, some dresses, sundress, whatever the case may be. Brothers, y'all got some hats y'all want to get off. Y'all got some outfits y'all want to get off. And so come to the break room. We gonna let you get off your outfit, your dance moves, whatever you want to do, all around our DJs. And so it's a good vibe. Y'all done seen those videos going viral. So, now Columbus has their very own group of people that's really putting that DJ out there and, putting them in the forefront and mixing it with business too. We gonna mix it with the business. We got two great partners right now. We got one at the Peninsula. We got Yellow Brick Pizza. We looking for more sponsors too. So if y'all want to sponsor the break room, hit us up. We can be found a number of different ways. But I ain't gonna continue to beat y'all's ears up. I told Mike I was gonna do 30 minutes. How I'm looking, Mike? 25. Hey, I like that. And so on that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Let me just throw this in here one more time. Where do y'all find yourself? Do you find yourself as a divergent thinker, idea driven, a visionary, a creative multitasker? Maybe you're a little piece of all four of them. And that's okay too, because I feel like I am. But until next time, y'all, be maniacal. Mike, please take me out of here, my brother.